So for clinical challenges in oncology specifically, based on the products that we have available today, those are more supportive care agents. So they're not as, I would say, challenging from a disease-modifying treatment agent that may become available, just because when you have supportive care agents, you can administer them, monitor them, and then really see the impact pretty quickly. But the concepts from a clinical standpoint that still come up as an area of opportunity for education is around extrapolation and interchangeability. So extrapolation, it's unique in the sense that typically as a pharmacist, when we would evaluate drugs, we like to see those clinical trials, the randomized controlled trials to evaluate the products. With extrapolation, there's studies in very specific indications, and then based on how that molecule works from a molecular level, the indications can be extrapolated to cover other indications. So it's almost a newer concept that we're still getting comfortable with and educating on. Oh, and another thing that we see with extrapolation is when the indication that the biosimilar was studied in, we actually saw greater acceptance of that product for the ones that's available on the market. But for the indications that it was extrapolated to, we saw some challenges or hesitancy with those providers that cover those indications. So that's where we saw some clinical challenges as well, where again, education is going to be key. The other area is interchangeability. So we still have a lot of education that's needed in this space because truly in the US, interchangeability is more of a regulatory term. It's where you could allow pharmacist level substitution of a biosimilar for a biologic. It's not so much of a clinical term to say this product is superior in any way. It has no connection to superiority of a product. So that's another area where we need to educate, because sometimes we hear providers say, well, I want to wait until it's interchangeable. So again, that's where the clarification is needed. And as I mentioned earlier, the need for education is still really out there across all different stakeholders. And that's where Premier can come into play and help support those efforts, being unique in the market where we work with both life science organizations and the healthcare providers to help provide that education from almost an independent party in that regard.